Can I have your name, address,
Sure.
and birthday, please?
What do you need it for? Am I going to be arrested?
When we get a call, we get to take a police report that we get a
Okay.
call. That's all.
What do you need my ID for?
Okay.
Why do you need my name?
We're here on a police call. We're having contact with you, and we're going to identify you.
I have a Fourth Amendment right guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution that says I am free from illegal search and seizures. There is Florida statute which states in order for me to ID myself, again, listen to me carefully, in order for me to be required to identify myself in the state of Florida, I must A, be under arrest, or B, you must have RAS or PC that I have committed a crime or am about to commit a crime. You have none of those standards.
Welcome to Mr. White, the place where real encounters between law enforcement and the people unfold before your eyes. On a cold morning in Bensalem, Pennsylvania, home to the Philadelphia Gun Club, one of the most controversial live pigeon shooting ranges in the country, a female attorney stood her ground in front of armed officers. No ID, no fear, and no tolerance for distorted interpretations of the law she knows by heart. At the same time, in Alachua County, Florida, a region of over 280,000 residents with a history of police misconduct lawsuits, a private investigator sits inside his parked vehicle. No disturbance, no crime. Yet he's ordered to show ID, threatened with arrest, and controlled without legal cause. He doesn't just push back. He exposes the limits of unlawful authority right on the scene. 2 states, 2 citizens, 1 truth. Legal knowledge is the line between freedom and abuse of power. These encounters were captured in full, unedited, and uncensored by Shark and Awakening the Masses, 2 leading channels exposing raw reality. Visit the original creators for the full story. If you believe in truth, freedom, and the Constitution, subscribe to Mr. White right now. And if you stand with informed citizens, drop a W in the comments below. Mr. White, where civil rights go live, uncensored.
So we would appreciate it if you would leave. You are on private property. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have the audio on those cameras?
Yes.
Okay. Would you mind turning the audio off?
No, I don't need to.
Okay. You know,
Okay. Do I have to repeat what I just said?
Well, I
to this
think
young
this is
lady?
public access here.
Well, you're on private property and you're past
Well, I think
that
it's
point.
public. Well, I think this is
I think
public
you're past-
access.
Miss, it is a safety.
you understand you have every right to protest, but you can't be on their property without their consent.
Okay.
You can be on public property. You can be on the roadway where it does not impede traffic, but they have the right to ask you to leave the property.
Okay. Well, there is public access along here, so it goes to a certain point. So I think we're within that point.
Well,
You are understanding that you're creating a safety hazard here.
No, I don't think we are.
Well, I am telling you that you are.
Well, what basis do you have for that? Because I'm telling you
you're
we're
in
not.
the roadway right now, creating a
Well,
safety
so
hazard
are you.
for people who come in.
So are the police
Because
officers.
You're here, I have to be here.
Well, I think we're standing by the side of the road. We were not in the road. We were always within the public access area.
do you know exactly where your property limits are? And we'll ask them to stay outside that.
Technically, we are responsible up to the roadway.
Okay.
Well,
Now,
technically,
what we have,
certainly.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you to turn the audio and the cameras off because it's illegal
Okay,
in Pennsylvania.
it's not illegal.
yes,
Okay.
it is, miss.
I'm sorry,
You
it's
can
not illegal.
Ma'am, you can videotape me, but I'm asking you not to audio tape without my consent. Can
Okay.
you please do that?
Well, I
That's
understand what
why
you're
the
saying. I
policy
do.
is illegal.
Okay.
I
Ma'am,
understand what you're saying.
Audio, it's just video.
Okay, there's no audio?
No.
Okay.
There is audio on mine, and I'm a lawyer, and I know what the law is.
So you know
I'll
about
take the
wiretap
risk. You
laws,
can
is that
take me to
correct?
court.
Is that, you know about the
I do.
wiretap laws?
Okay, well, I'm not going to get into that here. Do you have identification, please?
I don't on me, no.
You don't have an
No,
identification?
I don't have identification on me, no.
Okay, you have no idea.
On me, no.
Okay, can I have your name, address,
Sure.
and birthday, please?
What do you need it for? Am I going to be arrested?
When we get a call, we get to take a police report that we get a
Okay.
call. That's all.
What do you need my ID for? Why do you need my name?
We're here on a police call. We're having contact with you, and we're going to identify you and name you on our police report. That's what we do.
Okay, well, I'd rather not give you my name
Okay. Why would that be?
because I don't think I'm doing anything illegal. I don't think I'm under suspicion of anything.
Okay.
Why do I need my name?
You just told me that you're audio taping us, and I asked you not to do that under Pennsylvania wiretap laws.
Okay.
Okay. She told me she's not audio taping. Audio taping. I have no problem with that. I'm asking you to do the same thing.
Okay, can we get a supervisor here? Because
I am one. That's
okay,
why I'm here.
how about you? Above you?
That's not possible right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna take me into custody because of suspicion of violation of the wiretap law?
Did I ever say that? I asked for
Well,
your
you asked for
name.
my ID, so I'm under suspicion for something, and you said the wiretap law. So what?
Police call.
Okay. But
You
you said
asked-
the reason that you wanted my name and not hers was because of the wiretap law. And Val, please
Okay.
keep videotaping the people who come in.
Okay, you asked why we need your name and your
Yeah.
information. Did I
Right.
ever say that I'm going to take you into custody?
Well, you said that you needed it for the wiretap law. You said you think I'm in violation of the wiretap law. So I'm assuming that you're going to do something about that. That's why you need my name.
But I never said I was taking you into custody.
Okay, well then I don't think I need to give you my name.
Every police call that we go on, we identify who we talk to, who called the police, who we're talking to,
Well,
and they go in the police report.
Unless I'm under suspicion for something, I don't think I'm required to give you my name. I don't think I am. If you say I'm under suspicion for violation of the federal wiretap law or the Pennsylvania wiretap law, that's why you need my name, I'll give you my name.
I kindly asked you to stop audio taping. That's all I did.
Okay, you did.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
And-
said that I understand I'm a lawyer,
Okay.
well versed in the law. I've prosecuted cases under the federal and the Pennsylvania state wiretapping law. I know that this is
Okay.
legal.
Okay.
So, you're telling me you don't think it is, and you want my name to fill out in your report because you think I'm violating the wiretapping law. That doesn't make sense to me. Because if you think I'm
Okay.
violation of a crime, wouldn't you want to take me into custody and get all my information?
I never said that.
Okay, well then I'm not in violation of a crime?
I asked you to stop audio taping.
Right.
I said in Pennsylvania we have wiretapping laws. It's
Right.
not legal to audio tape someone without their consent. You refused. I asked you for your information. I never said anything about taking you into custody.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'm violating.
Okay.
This is public property. This is
Okay.
public access.
Well, I don't know that you're on
I
public property right now.
Well, I know that we are. I've looked into it. We've done this before. We've been here many, many weeks. We stand in the public access area.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Do you know for a fact that right now you're on public property?
well, because we stood, now I think we're in the driveway because we're talking to you.
Well,
But where
Okay.
we were standing,
If you're not sure either, how could you say that we're in violation?
I don't know. I do not.
Then,
Right,
if
then
no
why
one
are you-
knows, then somebody needs to find out, and it probably would be more of your responsibility being you're in the law.
They could sue.
Okay, here's what we're
Hi.
going to do.
okay,
We cannot have you stand in the driveway here
okay,
on this side of State Road where this is plowed because they've maintained it and they don't want you on the driveway.
okay.
If you want to stand on the other side of these snowbanks, you can do that, okay? We're going to find out through the township exactly where their property line is, but for right now, we're going to ask you not to impede their traffic and not to stand in this driveway. If you want to stand on the other side of State Road, I can't tell you to stand on someone's private property. If you want to stand anywhere that's public property, you can do that. We don't know exactly how far their private property goes to State Road or what's considered public access because there is no sidewalk here under the snow. But what they're asking is you don't stand on this plowed driveway and you stand on the other side of these snowbanks.
Okay.
Meaning, what would that be?
Okay.
Okay, let me finish. What will happen if we don't move?
If this is private property and you don't move, you could be cited for trespassing.
I'm asking you, what will happen now today if we
Right
don't
this
move
second.
right now?
Not
you don't move-
before
Yeah.
you find out what. his
Yeah, like right now
property
you're
lines
taking
are.
his word for it and maintain, and your understanding of law is that because they maintain this driveway, we have to go, a certain
What-
distance from the snow. I'm asking you, what will you do if we don't move?
I will go to the township. I will find out exactly where their legal property line is, and if law enforcement action has to be taken or citations have to be issued, that'll be done. What the question is right now.
Officer, while you're here, we got somebody on videotape who almost sideswiped me deliberately. He actually went into the snow trying to hit me when I was off the road.
Trying to.
So, well, I'll have to look at the video to see what I captured because I won't make a report unless I actually got his information.
All right. I can assure you more. That's giving these people any reason to be unsafe. We would not do something like that.
Well,
We are
videotape
being-
doesn't lie.
We are being as courteous to you as we possibly can.
Video doesn't lie, so we'll see.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does. Okay. Oh, he's trying to get me. Ooh,
He wanted to push
yeah, he did.
Oh my God.
Did you see that? Be careful, Val.
In Bensalem, Pennsylvania, a town previously scrutinized by the press for shielding a controversial live pigeon shooting club, a female attorney forced the system to back down. In a tense atmosphere and freezing weather, she was ordered by police to present ID without any clear legal basis. But with sharp legal knowledge and firm resolve, she not only refused lawfully, she left the officer visibly shaken right there on the street. The lesson for every citizen: always record, stay calm, and only provide ID when there is a legitimate legal legal reason. Now let's move on to the second video.
So you're sitting here trying to articulate reasonable suspicion. I've got a call that you were parked in front of a bus stop. And then you were relocated here. This is what was dispatched to me.
Okay,
and you're parked in front of somebody's house. This is not a normal place for people to be parked.
Okay.
And I am asking you to identify yourself.
Okay.
Okay? And you have to, by law, identify yourself. I need your ID, sir, to verify who you are.
I have to identify myself if you suspect me. Florida, is this a Terry stop? Am I being detained?
You are, right now. Yes, you are.
Under suspicion of what crime, sir?
Loitering and prowling.
Loitering is? Under the statute, loitering?
Here's what's going to happen. You're going to give me your driver's license here in a minute, or you're going to go to jail for resisting.
Okay.
I'm being honest with you.
I'm going to give him a license, then I'm going to file an internal affairs complaint on you for violating my Fourth Amendment
totally
right.
allowed to do
Name
that.
and badge number, sir?
My name's Munson, M-O-N-S-O-N 544. We're recording.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm going to give you my Florida Investigator's license, which is acceptable to identify myself. This is incredible. You deputies have no problem violating people's rights, man. Apparently, you took an oath to defend the Constitution, correct? Is that correct? Yeah. Can't get the damn thing out of my wallet. Jiminy Cricket.
Sheriff, what now?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What county is this? Alachua County? Do you all violate citizens' rights all the time? No response to that, deputy? No response to that. Suspects me of no crime. I haven't broken the law. Under the threat of arrest, has required to give me identification. Now somehow my identity is going to quell his suspicion of whatever it is he has of me. Can you call a supervisor on scene for me, please? I asked for a supervisor.
If you want to sit around and wait for a supervisor, we're more than happy to do that.
Well, you got no problem sitting here detaining me.
Do you want to sit around and wait for a supervisor?
I asked for a supervisor. I'd like for you to call a supervisor. I'm glad you got a smile on your face while you're violating my rights. Did you take an oath to the Constitution, deputy?
I did.
Ought to be ashamed of yourself. Unbelievable. I suggest you refresh yourself on the law and what reasonable suspicion is. You go ahead and smile now. I will be filing an internal affairs complaint against you. Not that your corrupt internal affairs will do anything about it. Apparently you boys in blue don't know how to break that line.
Tell Hoffman, 1031 to 69 is 5429. Valid Class A CDL license expires 2021. You need the number?
54. Anyone wants in the vehicle?
So now you're illegally running me through David. Boys just don't know how to uphold the law.
There's no public records exemption on tags, right?
Public what?
There's no public
Yeah, but you
record
also
exemption
know
on
there's a
tags.
state, you have to have a reasonable cause to run my tag through David. That's why that state trooper,
no.
that's why the
No, I
Florida
know.
Highway Patrol trooper got sued, right?
Hey, sir, listen. If I ran your emergency contact, looked at your emergency contact
Just
information,
a minute.
that we're not
Valid 6429 with a valid decal till October 31st.
You know, we got stuff.
May I
going on,
ask why
cars
you're
that
running my
automatically
tag?
Run your
Can I
tag.
take it?
Because you're parked in front of a house you do not live in.
Is that
That's the
suspicious?
bottom line.
Is that suspicious?
It's very suspicious. You don't even live here. You're
Oh, in
telling me
this
you're from
time
out
and
of
age,
town.
right, with terrorists and everything, right? At this time and age.
Okay. You need to move your vehicle out from in front of your house.
Why?
So you need to move your vehicle out from your house.
So
Okay?
you're saying it's illegal for me to sit there?
Is there even a shoulder? You're parked in the grass. Is there even
It's
a
an
shoulder
easement,
there?
33 feet from the center line.
Okay, trailer.
Are you giving me a
You're
lawful
free to
command?
go. You can go, or you can wait for the supervisor to come.
I'm going to
Which
wait
would
for
you
the
like to
supervisor.
do? Please do. Don't go back in your vehicle.
Why can't I go back in my vehicle?
Because I'm standing out here and I don't know what's in your vehicle. If you want us to stand here to wait for a supervisor, I'm good with that. But because the way you're acting, I'm not going to let you get back in your vehicle unless you're leaving. Because I don't know what's in your vehicle.
So can I not stay on the side of the road?
You can get in your vehicle and you can leave.
But I can't get in my vehicle and sit there.
Or you can stand right here and wait for the supervisor because I don't know what's in your vehicle.
Are you going to stay here and wait as well?
I'm going to stand right here and wait with you.
All right. So once again, once the supervisor leaves and you leaves, am I allowed to sit there and stay there? That's a simple yes or no question.
Why are you sitting here?
I am working.
Okay, where are you working?
That's none of your damn business.
Had this much problem.
None of your damn. You know why? Because you don't have people who know how to stand up for their rights and can't stand arrogant, illegal acting cops. That's why. You've came here. You've required me to show ID when I didn't have to. I'm sitting on the side of a road. I haven't broken a law, and you abuse your authority. That gun and that badge doesn't give you abusive rights.
Can I just ask you a quick question?
Sure, go right ahead.
Do you have a house?
Do I have a house?
Do you live somewhere?
No, I live under a.
Now you're being sarcastic, and I'm just asking you honest questions. You're
What
getting
do
upset.
you
I'm not even
think?
saying that. So you live at a house. You got private property, right? So you, in your experience,
Yeah.
if somebody was parked right in front of your house like that vehicle is,
Yeah.
would that rouse your suspicion?
Perhaps, yeah.
Would you call law enforcement?
No.
You'd probably go out and handle it yourself.
Probably.
Would you arm yourself and go out there and do it?
May or may not.
Okay, well, not everyone has that courage, sir. They're not as brave as you. So that's when they call us, because this is who we swore our oath to, the citizens of Alachua
Okay.
County.
All right.
So I came here.
Yep.
Now I have to verify who you are.
Well,
now, this deputy
let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. See, you think this is funny, Deputy?
No, I do not think
Let's
this is
make it
funny.
serious.
I don't think
Let's
this is
talk to
funny
each
at all.
other, two gentlemen, okay? You do understand the Fourth Amendment, right, Deputy? What does the Fourth Amendment guarantee?
I'm not going to sit here. You're,
See, you don't
I'm
want
not
to
gonna
talk
sit here
about
and
something
have
you're
this
going to lose at.
debate. You keep shutting me down. I'm trying to explain to you what's
No,
going
you're
on.
not.
and
You're
not
avoiding it. I'm answering your questions, and you don't want to answer mine. I have a Fourth Amendment right guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution that says I am free from illegal search and seizures. There is Florida statute which states in order for me to ID myself, again, listen to me carefully, in order for me to be required to identify myself in the state of Florida, I must A, be under arrest, or B, you must have RAS or PC that I have committed a crime or am about to commit a crime.
Exactly.
You have none of those standards. You have come here and
You
say,
didn't even listen to me. You didn't listen to what I
all right,
said.
then
I
go
tried
ahead.
to explain this very nicely to you, sir.
suspicion.
I have, and that's all I need.
That-
Reasonable suspicion that a crime is or about or has been committed.
Am I in bizarro world, or is this deputy not understanding the English language? Okay, listen to me once again. In order to require me to ID myself, see,
This
you don't want to
conversation's
listen.
going in circles.
No, because you're not
You're standing
listening.
here for the supervisor. I don't particularly want to talk to you anymore. You're free to get in your car and leave.
No,
If you
see,
want to get in your
you're
car, you
not
can
listening.
leave, or you can wait for the supervisor.
What crime do you suspect me of committing or about to?
Now that I've identified you, none.
How did identifying me ease your assessment that I was about to commit a crime? You can't answer that, can you? That's why you turn away and you laugh, because you know that you've been caught in an illegal act.
What? Stand over in front of my car, please.
I'm not under and still detained. You have no control or
Then
custody
leave.
over me.
You're not coming
I don't.
near me.
You don't tell me what to do.
I'm telling you, you're not coming near me. You're gonna.
I'm not coming near you. I'm looking to see what this deputy. Make sure you don't get a rifle and shoot me. You know, you cops aren't known for shooting people. So back to my point where you were embarrassed because I caught you in a, because you can't state a crime that you suspect me of committing. You want to say suspicion. Suspicion is not a crime. Loitering, which is also contempt of cop, that standard's also not met, because under the Florida statute, you must give me a reason to articulate why I'm in the area I am. I explained to you that I'm an investigator and I'm working. So that quells your interest. I tell you, man, you all wonder why cops are being shot in the street. Unbelievable. What's your patrol number? Do you have a patrol number or ID number? May I have it again? To be honest with you, I don't remember. I'm not asking you to make it say it again. I don't remember you giving it to me. I do remember you saying your name is
Detective Tell, or Deputy Tell, ID 422.
I appreciate that very much.
No problem.
See, I can tell by your body language, man. I'm a certified interrogator. I've been doing this job for 16 years. All right? Look at your body. Look at your body language.
You can't have a conversation. I
Really?
tried to have a conversation.
What are we doing
and
now?
all you're doing is jumping up and down. You're
I'm
all
jumping up
upset.
and down.
You don't know anything. You're being insulting. You're being rude. But you want me to be nice to you. That's
I'm not
how you want
asking
this
you to be. I'm not
two-way,
asking you to be
right?
nice. You haven't been nice to me. You violated my Fourth Amendment. You're telling me what to do and what I can't do. You told me I can't stay there when I have every legal right to sit there. See, you think that's all okay. Because once again, you have that gun and that badge, and you think that gives you the right to tell people what to do when you have no legal authority to do so. You can't deny any of that, can you? See, your body language is saying I'm absolutely right in what I'm saying, and you're embarrassed about it.
So, I'm so glad you got that figured out.
Yeah.
No, you're a genius. You got it all worked out.
Yeah.
Your past year, correction, private investigation. Sure.
Yeah.
You got it all worked out.
Guarantee my is higher than yours, buddy. Guarantee.
Maybe.
Yeah. No maybe about it.
Maybe.
Guarantee it.
It's possible.
I'm smart enough to not violate people's rights. I'm smart enough to expose corrupt cops. Yeah, just like I exposed your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, a lot of people see you on YouTube.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know it's fine. I've got no problem with it. I'm not the one that got to go home tonight night, pretend I'm a hero, go to my family tonight and pretend I'm a hero, protecting people's rights in this world that we live in with all the terrorism and everything.
Yeah, you're not being insulting at all.
Yeah. Like you deserve any better. I tell you what, I'm gonna just go wait up at my vehicle.
Yeah, sir,
I don't
listen to me. Do not go. I do not know what's in
I
your
didn't
vehicle.
say in. I did not say
you're
in.
gonna either wait here or you're gonna leave. You're not going in that near
I
that
said
vehicle.
I'm just gonna go stand
You're
over
not
there.
going near that vehicle. I do not know what's in that vehicle, and the way you're acting right now, I don't trust you. You're gonna either stand here, wait for the supervisor, or you're gonna tell me you're gonna leave, and then we're gonna get in our car and leave.
Am I being detained?
How would you like to? What did I just tell you? You can leave, but then we're leaving. That's the bottom line. If you're going back to the vehicle, we're gonna get
Go
out
ahead
of
and
here.
leave. I'll wait for the supervisor.
She's not coming up here by herself. I can tell you that right now. She's not, and I would not allow her.
I'm
to come
such
up
a
here by
scary
herself.
guy. Is it okay if I put my ID back in my wallet?
Absolutely.
Okay. I have no weapons on me.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna make any furtive
Absolutely.
movements. Make sure you don't pull your weapon and shoot me,
Absolutely,
okay?
Sir. You can put your ID back in your pocket.
All right, I appreciate that. All right, I'm gonna move now, okay?
Okay.
You have no problem with this officer's illegal actions, officer? He's not violating my Fourth Amendment? How come you all automatically say it's arguing? I'm just asking you a question. And because you don't want to answer it, you want to classify it as arguing. Does it sound like we're arguing? Or does it sound like I'm trying to communicate with you and ask you a question? You want nothing to do with that, right? Incredible. Tax dollars hard at work, gentlemen. How you doing, ma'am?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. My name is Mike Hoffman.
Okay, I'm Sergeant Phillips,
Your ID number, Sergeant Phillips?
409.
Okay. Has this officer explained to you what's happened?
It's my understanding someone called in about your vehicle being parked on private property.
Okay.
All right. And then that you weren't happy with the way they were handling it, and so
Okay.
they called me.
May I ask you, is what I'm doing sitting here, is that a crime?
If this is private property, yes.
Okay. It's public easement, is it not?
Without looking at...
You know what public easement is,
I know
correct?
what an easement is,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Now, you're a sergeant, so I know you've been on the force for a while.
Correct.
I'm sure, although not semantically accurate with the law, you're probably accurate enough to know how far easement goes off the road. And the fact that someone pulled right off the shoulder is on public easement. I mean, if you would give me that much? Okay. Let's go with this. Let's assume that I'm on public easement. Where I'm parked, is that a crime?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you have a purpose for being here?
I do.
What's that?
I don't need one. I will articulate to you why I'm here,
Okay.
but I don't need one. I can be simply parked there for no reason whatsoever. Will we agree that is not a crime?
Well, I'm not going to argue right now, easement or not, okay? I'm saying right now we're here for a reason. Someone called us to come check out your vehicle and what they're doing parked in front of their house.
And that is totally acceptable, and I have no issue with that.
Okay.
I think you're doing your job
Right.
there, and I think that's your job, and I have
Right.
no issue with that.
Okay.
Where I draw the issue is when this deputy over here demanded under the threat of arrest for me to ID myself, when I clearly articulated to this deputy, by the U.S. Constitution, I'm guaranteed a Fourth Amendment right. Not only that, under Florida statute and Florida Constitution, under Florida statute, he must either have RAS or PC that I've either committed a crime or about to commit a crime.
I'm going to stand over here if you don't mind.
Yeah. About to commit a crime before or be under arrest before I am required by law to present an ID.
Hold on just 1 second. 49.
So now these deputies are going to try to find a reason to jam me up. Okay, so do you agree with what I just said?
Well, let me, like you said, we're here for a reason.
I don't
okay?
disagree.
All right. So when we make contact with someone, that's the first thing we do is identify them so we know who we're out with.
That's your
okay?
policy. I agree with that. But again, I'm talking about the law when he has a right to demand under the color of authority code, U.S. Code 18, Section 242, which is deprivation of rights under the color of law. When you all put that badge on and take an oath, you become what's under the color of law. You have authority given to you. And he must meet certain requirements in order to use that authority under the color of law. What he did was threaten me with arrest if I did not give him ID. I articulated to him that he had to have certain standards met to demand ID from me. Isn't that correct?
Have you, at any point, have you given them ID or no?
I had to. He said he was going to lock me up. He said he was going to arrest me.
Okay, so you provided ID. Obviously,
Under the threat of being arrested.
Okay, so obviously we know who you are.
Yes.
All right, and you said you would explain to me your purpose for being
I'm
here,
an
right?
investigator, as I explained to him.
Private investigator?
That's correct. Before
Okay.
I gave him my ID, I said, look, I'm an investigator, I'm working. He wanted to know who I was working. I told him it was none of his damn business who I was working. And actually, under the law, if I'm not allowed to tell law enforcement, I can get in trouble with the law if I tell you who I'm working.
I don't...
Statute 493.
Well, I know in the past when we
What?
have
I never asked you.
I'm sorry?
I never asked you who you're working.
Okay, would you like me to stop the video?
All right, hold on.
You want to stand fast on that, deputy?
Listen, I'm standing here to help. Okay, just...
Yeah, but he just told a lie.
Okay, well, I know in the past when people are working as a private investigator, they will call our communications
Normally, yes.
to let them know I'm out here at this address so we don't get calls like this, right? So
and
we
the-
could have avoided this whole
Well, no,
situation.
that's not necessarily true, and you are correct. That's something we normally do. It is a courtesy. It's not a requirement.
Right.
But I have found in the recent past, irregardless if I call in or not, I'm approached. I've had deputy tell me it doesn't make a difference if you called in. I have to come out and approach you. So it does no good to call in, and at times calling in has got me burnt on cases. So I use my discretion on whether I'm going to call in or not. This wasn't my starting point, so normally when you do call in, it's from a starting point. I can't call in every time I go mobile.
Move location?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So it would be a nuisance for me to call 5 or 6 times when my subject goes mobile. Okay, now I'm at this location. It's you know what I'm saying? So now again, I acknowledge what you're saying. You are correct in that. But let's get back to the semantical part and why I'm upset, why this deputy violated my rights. And I want to lock you down on that because I feel you're being somewhat invasive in that. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. I'm an activist in my personal life. I've been an investigator for 16 years. I'm ex-law enforcement. He wants to say it's a joke because it was in Department of Corrections. Okay, whatever. It was 20 years ago. Whatever. And I say that just to try to get some professional courtesy. Bottom line, Sergeant, he violated my Fourth Amendment, and he thinks it's okay. He thinks he's done nothing wrong. I'm going to file an internal affairs complaint on him, but I want to start. And nothing. Look, I'm not kidding myself. Nothing's going to come of it. All right. I've been doing my activism for years, and it's not a thin blue line. It's a thick ass blue line. I used to be part of it. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. But I have an issue. I want this gentleman first of all, I want you to acknowledge
I guess what like you said, if you're prior law enforcement, corrections, whatever, and you said professional courtesy, it seems like you would have extended that to them.
I did. When I got out of the vehicle, I raised my arms, told him I had no weapons. I lifted my shirt up. I turned around to give him officer safety so he has no concern.
Okay.
That's his immediate concern. Am I a threat to him?
Right.
Okay, I expelled that threat. Then I came over and we were talking, and he says, well, I want your ID. I said, well, Deputy, I said, please don't get me wrong. I know where this is about to go. I explained to him I'm an activist in my personal life and I stand up for my rights. And I explained to him it's not that I don't want to give you my ID, but because I'm an activist, I stand firm on my constitutional rights. I explained to him about the Fourth Amendment, and I explained he doesn't have a legal right to demand my ID.
Well, we're here for a call. We're here for a purpose. It's not like this was a self-initiated call. We got a call from a citizen. We have a legal right to be here.
Yes.
And
yes.
to find out who you are and know what you're doing.
But see, you don't have a legal right to ID me. Are you? And I'm looking for nobody will answer. When I confronted him on that, he wants to turn around and laugh and smile. But what I said, is it not true or is it true? And I'll repeat what I said. In the state of Florida, for a Terry stop, okay?
This isn't a Terry stop.
Exactly. It wasn't a traffic, and I'm not required to produce ID. This is not a stop and ID state. In the state of Florida, under statute, in order for me to be required to ID myself, you must either suspect me of committing a crime or about to commit a crime, and you must either have PC of that or RAS. He kept on saying his reasonable suspicion was just suspicion. That's what he thinks his standard is for me to be required to ID. And I asked him, sir, suspicion of what crime? And he's like, I don't think you committed a crime. I have suspicion. You're suspicious. You're here. Do you see where I'm going?
I do. But I guess I would like to, at this point, move on, though, and try to get this resolved. I'm sure you obviously have a job to do, right?
Yeah,
You're on.
But how's it going to be resolved? I would like acknowledgement, and if you don't feel comfortable, I'd like for you to say so for the record. Am I correct in my stance about what he needs to demand ID, or is he right? Because again, he threatened me with arrest. It's all on video, his and mine. I will be filing a PRR to get that video and that audio. He's confirmed to me it's all on audio and video. I have mine. I missed most of it because I wasn't recording it right away.
Okay.
It wasn't until he threatened me with arrest that I'm like, well, shit, I need to turn my camera on. You know, this guy's going to put, and he told me, if you don't get your ID out, I'm going to take you to jail. I'm going to arrest you. That's a threat. He's threatened to do bodily harm to me, kidnap me. And I know that may be a funny term, but legally that's what it is when he doesn't have the authority under the color of law to do what he did. And then you know what he tells me? I forgot about this part. He says, I can't be there. He told me to get in my truck and leave. I said, I'm working. I have every right to be there. Then he wouldn't let me go back to my truck. Thinks I'm going to go get a weapon and shoot him.
Okay. Well, that's officer safety.
Well, no, it's not. I'm not being detained. He doesn't expect me to come around.
No, you're not being detained. But anytime, like on a traffic stop, when we approach a vehicle and someone needs to get something out of their vehicle, we walk with them.
Yeah, but it's over with. He was done with me. He said I couldn't get back in my vehicle until he left. He doesn't have any right to control me like that.
All right. Like I said, you're here on a job, and I know you said you won't tell us who you work for or whatever. Is there any way that we can confirm that you're here doing a private investigate? Or
I gave my investigator's license.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm
yes,
sorry.
ma'am.
You didn't tell me that. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. I ID myself. That was my ID.
So we know who you are, we know who you work for, and that's why you're here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you talked to... Give me just 1 second.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
You looked it up on the public appraiser's website, and of course, the easement somewhere here doesn't exactly identify who...
On state roads, it's 33 feet from the center line.
This isn't a state road.
Let me finish. I believe on county roads, I know I'm right on state roads. I believe county roads is 13 feet. I believe. You know, so I state that because I'm not absolutely sure. State roads, 33 feet. So, again, you know, it's no sense in
right, like I said, I want to
everything.
move forward at this point and try to resolve it. Obviously, like I said, they were here on a call. She's, you know, a mom, young kids. She's saying, I guess there's a bus stop right down here.
I have no problem with none of that.
So when they show up and make contact with you, they have a right to ask for your identification.
Ask. They have a right to ask. He does not have a right to threaten me with arrest, which he did.
Well, honestly, right when they show up on a call and they ask for your ID and you refuse to give it to them when they're here for a lawful reason, that could be considered resisting without. That is an arrestable offense.
I know the subsection for resisting without violence. It's not. See, do you see where I'm going with this? You know, I'm an activist. I'm pretty well versed in the laws. I do this in my personal life. I've been arrested 3 times. I have 2 cases going to the Florida Supreme Court.
Okay.
One of them is over this very same matter, which I'm about to sue the state for $5 million. All right, so I think I'm pretty well versed on what I'm doing. And again, you all can't use, and I apologize for my tone and my what could be perceived as hyper. Yeah, the guy threatened to arrest me, man. Take my freedom away. And he doesn't have a right. You all can make excuses or try to justify it, yes, you have every right to be here. A citizen's concerned.
And to identify you.
You don't, what, ma'am, you're a deputy. Do you know what the law says? What does the law say?
Because we're here on a call. Like I said, we did not self-initiate. She calls in a suspicious vehicle. She doesn't know the vehicle. She doesn't know if there's someone inside the vehicle. So when we get here, we don't know who you are. We don't know if the bus stop down here, if you're waiting to kidnap a kid. We don't know that if you're a sex offender and not supposed to be by a bus stop. We don't know all that until we identify you.
But what does the law say about you demanding ID? That's what I'm asking you to say, because that's what this whole issue's over. We're dancing around it with every other thing. I don't disagree with you on anything you said, except the semantical point of demanding ID. I mean, and again, you've yet to answer that. I've told you 3 times what the law says, very succinctly, and you've not yet acknowledged it or denied it. And I would think a deputy of the statute of sergeant would be pretty well versed in what it takes to demand ID under the color of law. U.S. Code 18242, deprivation of rights under the color of law. Okay?
Well, you're convinced that you're right, based on your knowledge of the law and stuff like that.
Will you do this for me? Will you research it today? And just out of I would say professional courtesy, but I'm not going to get any. You're not at all. You've been very polite. You haven't threatened me with violence or arrest. You've been very polite. You've been patient with me. I appreciate that more than you know. There's many times I get the attitude these 2 deputies have shown. This guy here don't want to open his mouth, and this guy here thinks everything's a joke. Okay? You know, so what I'm asking you to do is, for the future, please take 15-20 minutes today, research the law, and I'll give it to you one final time. In the state of Florida, the statute says to demand, not ask, to demand ID, you must have reasonable, articulable suspicion that I've committed, or PC, that I've committed a crime or I'm about to commit a crime.
Right, and we don't know why you're here if you are about to commit a crime until we identify who you are.
Do you know what that means? You don't get to use that as an excuse. Reasonable, articulable suspicion means you must be able to articulate what crime I've either committed or about to commit. You don't get to say, oh, well, we think you might commit a crime. You might be a bank robber. You might be wanted. You might be a child molester. You might be just
Which, like you said, though, you understand our concern when we pull up and don't know why.
I do, but I also expect you of taking an oath to the Florida Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, and being a servant to the citizens. I expect you to uphold the law, because you guys take every opportunity to say that I'm enforcing the law. But when I see officers break the law, they're not so quick to stand fast on it. And that's what that deputy has done. He has broken the law by violating my constitutional rights. And I know that's maybe all, we can just brush that aside. That's no big deal. We're doing what we're supposed to do. I'm asking you to really look deep into it, what I'm saying. We're losing our way in this country, deputy. Citizens' rights are getting violated. Citizens are getting killed. This guy wouldn't even let me go back to my vehicle. He acted like I was a terrorist.
All right.
So we're done. I appreciate it.
I guess, are you going to move?
I'm going to stay there. Okay. I have every legal right to be there.
Okay.
I'm not, and normally if I see a person come out,
you'll get out and talk.
I'm like, hey, I'm an investigator. Here's my license. I show them my ID real quick. Number one, they're not law enforcement, but I want to put them at ease. I understand. If some knucklehead was parked in front of my house,
you would call too.
No, I wouldn't.
Or you go
damn
out.
right.
But a female home by herself probably
I understand that, and that's why I try to do everything. If I saw her, ma'am, I'm an investigator. If you feel comfortable, call the sheriff. If that makes you feel more comfortable, here's my license. You know, because I don't want this.
Right. Well, I don't either.
You know, but you know, I appreciate your time very much. I asked you 2 things. I'd like you to research the law, and if you verify what I said is true, I want him counseled. I will be doing a PRR on his video and audio, and I will be filing an internal affairs complaint because I believe I'm steady in my claim. Thank you for your time, ma'am. Is it okay for me to go to my vehicle? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for watching until the end of this video on the Mr. White channel. We've just witnessed 2 seemingly minor incidents that carry powerful lessons about civil rights in America. In Bensalem, Pennsylvania, a town long criticized for protecting live pigeon shooting and remaining silent in the face of public backlash. A courageous female attorney lawfully refused to provide ID and sharply challenged a police officer who misinterpreted the law. Meanwhile, in Alachua County, Florida, a county with over 280,000 residents and a history of abuse abuse of authority, a private investigator was ordered to show ID simply for parking in front of someone's house. No crime, no legal basis, just intimidation and unlawful control. And he stood his ground. 2 citizens, 2 approaches, 1 powerful truth: they knew the law, and they refused to let power go unchecked. Here's the takeaway. Police can ask, but you are not obligated to comply unless they have a legal basis, such as reasonable suspicion or probable cause that a crime has been committed or is about to be committed. Record every interaction. Stay calm. Ask for a supervisor if you feel threatened, and most importantly, never let fear silence your rights. Have you ever faced a similar situation? Share your experience in the comments below. Spread awareness by sharing this video, and if you believe freedom begins with knowledge, subscribe to the Mr. White channel today.